Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. "2023 will be the 6th year I make a moon calendar. This time around, I chose to really tune in to why I love the moon, what excites me about the full and new moon rituals, what moon herbs I love, and why do I create moon calendars in the first place. Before starting to paint, for a few days, I was reading alchemy and symbolism books, tuning into the moon, and from there, I felt quite inspired to start creating. It had been a minute since I sat down to paint something from scratch, so I started by doing one of my favorite practices, which gets me quite excited to paint again. I started by creating a color swatch, as this practice is great to remember the colors I have on my palette, to check in and see what colors are currently calling me the most. And it is from here that everything just starts to flow. For me, starting to paint after a time of not doing it feels like dancing for the first time after months. At first, I start slowly, making simple steps, maybe moving my shoulders. The rhythm and conversation with the music slowly start to take over my whole body until it is just a free flow. I feel the same happens when painting. It is like stretching a muscle which had been stiff for so long. So I love to start by giving myself time to go slow, to surrender to the process, and to really appreciate how painting is a slow alchemy, a practice of patience and love. Hello everybody, happy Monday. It's a new week in the studio. This weekend my friend Mariana was visiting us. We went hiking and to walk around town. It was so beautiful to get the whole weekend off and just relax, be in nature. We went to a new hike we had never been before. It was so beautiful, maybe most definitely the most beautiful view from the Hudson Valley I've ever seen. This hike is next to a Buddhist temple here in the Hudson Valley, and it's Monday. I'm ready to get to work. Today in the morning I did a lot of computer stuff, responding to a lot of emails that I needed to catch up on, be updated on. I just had a lot of emails to respond. We also went to the post office to leave one print. We had one order this weekend, and I picked up some stuff for my PO box. I already received November's sticker for Patreon. I won't show you that until the postcards arrive, but I'm sure it will be in this video somewhere. I also received Fran Meneses' Ugly Sketchbook, which I've wanted to score for the longest time. I'm Fran's Patreon, and I actually started seeing the Ugly Sketchbook this morning. I cannot wait to go through it all. It's so inspiring. It's actually inspiring me a lot to start a art practice of just painting in my sketchbook or drawing in my sketchbook every day for a week. It might sound something that a lot of you do, but I have fallen out of my sketchbook practice, and I think that by doing at least one drawing in my sketchbook a day for a week will be a great way to get back into it. I feel that sometimes I just get so focused in the to-do list that I just step out of my sketchbook practice, but I've been feeling the call, and seeing Fran's Ugly Sketchbook has been so inspiring. But anyhow, this week I'm starting the drawings for my moon calendar for next year. I am scared because I don't know what topic will be the moon calendar about. Last year I did a lot of plants and fungi. The year before it was only plants. So we'll see. I think that the best way and the only recipe that I know for these uncertain, scary feels of the blank page is to just sit down and start painting, no pressure. If I don't get anything that I love today, whatever I do today will be part of the journey and the necessary steps in order to arrive to where I actually need to be until I love the paintings that I'm doing. So I have, this is a practice, and I've been painting for so long that I already know when I catch myself when I'm avoiding starting. And I've been avoiding starting all morning, but I'm also avoiding by talking to you right now. But I'll start into that. And I'm excited for this week because even though right now I'm scared and I don't know where the moon calendar will go, I know that by Friday I'll definitely have something resolved and something that I'm happy with. So I know that even though today it might feel scarier, the only way to get there and to be completely happy on Friday is if I show up and fail and don't fear the blank page. So I'll get into that. And the countdown has started. We're going to Peru in 3 weeks for 20 days, almost a month. So I'm not sure if in 3 weeks I'll be able to finish the calendar, scan, and then get the proofs. So I'm not sure if I'll be opening my shop and doing the end of the year sale before going to Peru, or if I will be doing it after coming back from Peru. If I do it after Peru, I cannot assure that orders will arrive before holidays, before Christmas, before New Year's, but I'll try my best to work and as fast and as consistent as I want, because I also want to make some 100% recycled craft sticker sheets. I want to make some cool stuff. I want to have more offerings with fungi on them on my shop because most of them are plants. I feel the only fungi one that I have is the fungi painting, the fungi print, which is already sold out for this year. It's coming back next year though, but those are the updates. I'll stop talking and I will start doing. Before we continue with today's vlog, I want to take a few seconds to share with you about today's video sponsor, who is Squarespace. Squarespace is the virtual home of my online shop, my art portfolio, and my email campaigns. From scheduling my email campaigns to having award-winning portfolio designs to showcase my artwork, which I can link to my online shop, Squarespace is the do-it-all-in-one platform I use and recommend. We have teamed up so you can have a 2-week trial, and once you are ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. I am quite happy as when starting this painting, I really came to paint in ceremony each day. Lighting up a candle, meditating before painting, and listening to the most calming music. Lately, I've been listening to Niels Fram's album, Music for Animals, and it has taken over my heart. I've also been loving modern biology, especially their flower and mushroom albums. I always wonder, how are the music, the plants, the mushrooms, the breaths we are taking while creating? How are they somehow in conversation with our creativity? I feel there is so much more that is taking place than that which we can see with our eyes. And that's a little bit about the way I decided to approach this new calendar. I didn't want to paint another calendar, quote unquote, just because that's what I do. But I rather chose to really tune in to my why, to be present and be intentional in the process, to be forgiving for the uncertainty that lives in some corners of myself. This calendar has been, hands down, one of my favorite practices lately. At first, I thought I'd approach it being fast and efficient so I could get enough time to make new paintings before the end of the year. But then I came back to the remembrance that I'd rather do one thing very intentionally and with all my heart than do 10 things halfway and not fully present. I love how sitting down with a few paintbrushes and my watercolors can truly become a therapy session, a time to go within, reflect, let go, and come back to alignment. I love creating in this way, fully committed, being intentional, and enjoying the process. This may be why this has been one of my favorite calendars to create, as it has taught me so much about my rhythms and what energy I want to create from. I love how art making can be such a reflective space, a space to transform and harmonize from within. I've also come to realize how this year I invited way more playfulness into my practice by playing and adding some amulets to the painting, which is something I had never done before. This is also the third year in a row I end up making these exact same color for the background of the calendar. The past 2 years, I ended up changing the color, but this year I decided to keep it. I guess it keeps appearing for some reason. Today is my second day working on the moon calendar, and I've already done all the sketch for it. I am now painting, and I'm so happy because I've already contacted the same printing company that I worked with last year. And this time around, I'm going to be making 2 proofs before deciding what paper I will be using for the moon calendar. Did I say fungi painting? Did I say moon calendar? The 2 papers that I will be trying for the moon calendar are both the same width. They are made by the same brand. They're 120 lb. Both of them are 100% recycled, but one of them is white, the other one is craft. And I've always done my moon calendars on white paper, but I thought craft could also be something exciting to try out. Maybe it looks beautiful. So I will be making proofs for both of them. I'm not sure if I will be able to receive the proofs before going to Peru. If I can, that will be amazing because I can already place the order for the calendars. And if not, I will do it once I'm back. I'm trying not to be super hard on myself on running, but I'm still so happy. It had been so long since I sat down to paint on a project like this, and I'm over the moon about it. I'm also super stoked because today's my first day using these. It's this sweater that I bought secondhand from a friend of mine who is moving out of the country. So she's been selling a bunch of her clothes, and I scored this beautiful sweater, which is so warm. It's such a beautiful day here in Woodstock, and I just wanted to log in and say hi. By becoming more gentle with my paintings, an invitation opens up for me to become more gentle with myself, and thus with the people around me. My body has been needing lots of gentleness, tenderness, and support lately, but I am sure I will dive into that topic in another video. I love how it all can turn into mirrors. Have you ever heard of the saying that the beauty stands in the eye of the beholder? I feel the natural world carries so much beauty without putting in a lot of effort. So the more time I spend painting nature and the more time I spend in nature, the more I feel my eyes start to see the same beauty everywhere, in everyone. Lately, the true luxury in life seems to be creating with intention, cooking slowly, and eating what is currently nourishing and healthy for me. I want to commit to always creating with intention, not doubting my slow art, as a lot of the outer world says, faster is better. I believe intentional creation is better, no matter how long it takes. I want to commit to pausing my work and cooking for myself and my partner. To pause work for a little while and enjoy a meal instead of skipping any more meals in order to get more work done. I believe showing up with gentleness and with a cup full can be such deep medicine, no matter how long it takes. This year, books and audiobooks have been a very big topic in my life. I love listening to audiobooks while drawing digitally or reading a book until I fall asleep. I have made so many friends in fictional stories this year. I've cried when it was time to part ways. I've even gone slower on books just to extend the time until I finish it when I feel nostalgic from leaving my new friends behind. I recently finished listening to When We Were Sisters by Fatima Asghar, and I also finished reading La Casa de los Espíritus, The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende. Reading is another way of meditation for me. I feel that whenever my mind is full of thoughts, I can't really focus on the words I'm reading. But the more I read, the less my mind gets on the way and the faster I drop into the stories. Stories are medicine, and so is spending time with them. So once I finished doing what I wanted to work on painting, I went ahead and scanned the painting of the calendar and worked digitally on some of the species featured on it. I wanted to work partially by hand and partially digital. Half of the plants, mushrooms, and more are all made by hand, and some of them are fully digital. Both of these are unique techniques and have their own vibe, but I feel the combination of both worlds is quite fun to work on, and I love how it all looks when it is ready. The plants, mushrooms, and amulets I chose to include in 2023's calendar are a mix in between moon herbs, allies that are dear to my heart, and tools that can be of service for us to remember and rejoice in being alive, in aligning with the moon, and foremost, with the natural world. Some of the specimens included in the calendar are raspberry flowers, inky cup mushrooms, a vintage distillation apparatus, a gratitude journal, poppy seed pots, a rosette lichen, my dear blue lotus, a wizard wand, 3 Peruvian potatoes, as I've been obsessed with Peruvian potatoes lately, enoki mushrooms, chancapiedra leaves, potion bottles, the moon phases, a passion flower, a feather, and a mortar, and of course, my made-up planets and tiny eyes everywhere, which are always, always present in my art. Hello. Today I am hopefully finishing the moon calendar so I can get the first proof prints. I think I already said this in this blog, but I haven't filmed in like a week or a few days. I will be getting 2 different prints in the same type of 100% recycled paper, the same width of paper, same size and everything. It's just that one of them is white, the other one is craft. So one of them has been bleached, the other one hasn't. I will get a proof of on each of them, see which one I like the most. Hopefully it'll be the one in craft, but we'll see. It depends on how the colors come out. And right now I'm finishing details digitally for the moon calendar. I'm super happy with how the details, the artwork for the calendar is coming together. These are poppy pots. And today I will be doing that. I also stopped by the post office. I received my Patreon stickers and postcards for November. I am very happy because this month there will be, it's all about the mushrooms. I will share those with you later. And I also got a gift from my friend Riru. Riru is this amazing painter that I met in school, in uni, while I was studying art in Peru. Riru was going to painting, and maybe a year ago, I'm not sure how long ago, but a few years ago, Riru moved to Chicago. And I've shared this a lot before. It's just super exciting because in Peru, being an artist, living in Peru, you pretty much can only ship nationally, and you can only have clients in Peru because our governmental post office doesn't work there. That's one of the main reasons why we haven't, up until today, thought about seriously moving back home now or soon, even though I think it's something that both me and my partner want to do. But yeah, every time that one of my artist friends from Peru moves out of the country, I think one of the most beautiful things that I know as a Peruvian artist that moved out and that my friends share with me, it's how beautiful it is that now we can ship our artwork internationally because the National Post Office works in the States as it does in most countries besides Latin America. But anyway, she sent me a gift with some of her art prints and I want to share them with you. Riru and I were super close friends when we were in college, and she's come to visit me actually 5 years ago. It's been a long time. I visited her in Buenos Aires when she lived there for a time in Argentina, and I hope that she comes visit us here and that we go visit her in Chicago. But I want to share with you Riru's artwork because she's hands down one of the most talented painters I met in college. So let me show you Riru's work. And then let's finish this calendar because I really want to finish it today. We're going to Peru in like 2 weeks and I want to be able to get the proofs before leaving so I can get the calendars in production. Oh, look at this one. Okay, this one needs to go in the bathroom as she's wearing this towel on the hair. So pretty. So lucky. I wish you could touch this one. Such a beautiful texture. Gracias, Riru. So the moon calendar is ready. This was just printed here on my studio, but I've already requested both proofs. I truly hope they arrive before I leave for Peru. If they don't, that's all right. I am taking some calendars with me to Peru. Those will be printed here at my studio, and then the ones that I will be offering once my shop reopens in December, those will be with the 100% recycled paper, either white or craft. And I hope that I can get a couple more new offerings in my shop for the end of the year sale. We are back the last day of November, so my shop will be reopening as soon as we're back, and we'll try to ship all orders as soon as possible for everyone who's trying to get their new art to arrive before the end of the year. And yeah, that's everything for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been so beautiful to share with you how long it takes for me to make one product, like the moon calendar, one offering. It's something that I have truly loved doing with all the intention. These calendars, especially this year, this hands down may be my favorite moon calendar so far. This is my sixth year making moon calendars, and I feel the first one and this one are the ones that I was more in love with. I really put all the effort. I've been reading all the alchemy and symbol books once again, working with lots of herbs for the moon herbs, and it's been beautiful to really reconnect to why do I even do moon calendars in the first place. A few years ago, I thought I would stop doing them, but this year has been like falling in love deeper with the moon and with this offering. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you once again, Squarespace, for being today's video sponsor and sponsoring my channel. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope this was an inspiring one. And I hope that you're doing well. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you here on YouTube sometime soon. Bye.